Okay, I've got everything switched out. First, we'll do the statistics. In 2018, I ended the year with 17 WIPs. So those 17 WIPs from 2018 carried over to 2019. Of those 17 WIPs, I finished 4 of those in 2019. And I removed another one from rotation altogether. That was the, it's from Fuzzy Fox Designs. It was called Cute Craft Room. It was like one of the first one or two. I think it was the first one when I first checked out cross stitch again. It was a Etsy download, and I had started stitching it on Ada. I know I didn't throw it away, but I don't know where I've stuck it. I totally took that out of rotation, just not interested in it anymore. So so from 2018, the WIPs, the finishes, and removing the one totally, I started I have 12 WIPs from 2018 that was started in 2018. I have 12 from 2018. In 2019, I had 61 starts and I had 19 finishes. So that left me with 42 WIPs from 2019. So from 2018 and 2019, I have 54 current WIPs. Yikes. So you can see why I need to focus on getting some of these WIPs stitched. And I have not even counted how many charts that I have, so really don't want to know. Anywho, so yeah, I want to focus on these WIPs and stitch from stash. So we are going to go through each one of these. And as I said earlier, I'm going to do Stitch or Ditch, as Debbie with Creatively Yours did. So check her out. We have very similar tastes. Several charts that she had in her WIP Parade, I have in mine as well. So we're just going to jump right in, and I'll forewarn you, I am going to open each bag and put everything back into each bag because I have 54 of these things and I'm not going to have a mess when I get done. It's already a mess as it is. Okay, so this is chronological order. I've gone into my Excel sheet and logged each start that I have. And so this start is, I don't have the date. I just know it was from 2018. I didn't start the actual dates until late 2018. So this was the first or second chart that I ever started. It's Prairie Schoolers Christmas Village. I love this chart. It's very easy to stitch. It's just new things, you know, catch your eye, and so you want to start stitching it. So I would love to focus on this. It is being stitched on 18 count Ada that I tea and coffee dyed. This is my progress so far. I did stitch on it a little bit in 2019, not a whole lot, but yeah, basically, you know, maybe a third of it. Yeah, I think this tree's in the middle, so maybe about half, or about halfway over, but lots of stuff to fill in here. So sorry it's wrinkled. Of course, I'm not going to take the time to iron all of these either. I apologize, but so yeah, that's my progress. 18 count Ada. I'm using all the called for DMC colors. And I will continue to stitch this. Personally, I love all the, you know, crinkly noises. Some of the Flosstubers I watch, when they have a Flosstube post, I'll go watch theirs first. Just because I love the crinkle noise. Next, Splendor of Autumn. This was a chart I won from Michelle Garrett Bendy Stitchy on one of her giveaways. This is from Crosswing Collection, First Encounter. And I don't have the exact start date, just that it's 2018. And I did stitch on this some this year. That's my progress. It's being stitched on, it looks like a 28 count even weave. This is, I think all of this initially is what I got from Hobby Lobby, I think, and then just tea and coffee dyed it. So yeah, I know I had stitched the berries and more of the birds, so I'm getting there. I love stitching on this. I think it's so pretty, the little chickadees. So yeah, continue to stitch on this one. And when I put them in my bag, I try to, because I love the vinyl bag, so try to get to where I see what's in the bag. And I also went through, as I was going through these the other day to make sure I had all my WIPs accounted for, I went through and made a working copy of all my charts that didn't already have a working copy. I had started doing that the last several months, and so they all have a working copy in there that when I grab that bag, I'm ready to go. It helps having a working copy to, sometimes I'll just use a Post-it, just trying to keep my place on the chart as I'm stitching. But it's so nice just to highlight off that row, and after you've stitched it, highlight it so you know exactly where you're at. And it also helps when you're in, when you're doing prompts or whatever that you have to count stitches. I like to just stitch, and then when I get to a stopping point, I'll go through, highlight what I've stitched, and count the stitches at that time. And then I have the, oh, I forget what the app's called. It's just it's a cross stitch counter. You can actually list each of the charts that you're working on so you can keep track of where you're at on each of the charts. So yeah, that's why I was trying to think where I went off on that. That's why it's good for me to have a working copy, and I wrote on their working copy, and they're ripped up and thrown away when I get done with them. And then next I have, oh, I skipped over one. You know what? I called that initially Splendor of Autumn. That was First Encounter. Splendor of Autumn, it's out of a bag because it hasn't been kept, it wasn't kept in my current rotation. I don't think I worked on it at all. If I did, it was like early 2019 that I worked on it. So it's a beautiful chart. I love it. It's out of Just Cross Stitch, October of 2016. When I subscribed to Just Cross Stitch, you get 3 years of their back issues. This is black and white, first of all, and then it's on green paper. But love this scene. It is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. It's like it was the second chart I started. Well, that's not true. Some of them I finished, so I can't say it was my second chart. It was early 2018. I'm stitching on 28 count even weave, and I am using all of the called for DMCs. Let's see the orientation here. Yeah, this is it. This is up. But yeah, this is 28 count even weave that I tea and coffee dyed as well. The colors are beautiful, and I don't think there's any there's no back stitching in it, so you know, you see the oranges and yellows of the leaves. It's gorgeous. It's going to be a really pretty stitch. And I think why I hadn't worked on it too much, well, of course, all the new things, first of all. And then second of all, it's for my skill level at the beginning of 2018. it's not really confetti. There's a little bit of confetti, not terrible. It got to be a little bit cumbersome for me, but now I know the loop start method and the pin stitch method, and so those little areas won't be too bad. And it's not bad. That's the back of it. So, you know, not a whole lot of cross country. It really doesn't look too bad. But it's a lot of starting and stopping. So it got up to be a little more cumbersome than, and you know, one of the first charts that I have from starting back and cross stitch, of course, all the new things come along, like I said. So this is Splendor of Autumn out of just cross stitch October of 16. Okay, back to proper order. Next comes Bless Our Home. And of course I want to keep stitching that. And I would like to go back to that. I need to pick these older WIPs and focus on them. Okay, so this is, I don't know if I have, yeah I do. Country Cottage Needleworks, Bless Our Home. Not crazy about the colors. They're very, I don't know, like pastel-y, I guess. It's not as bright. And, you know, it's not that my color conversion is that bright. It's okay. Like, I'm not crazy about the green. I do like the roof color that I use. The house color is pretty. This is on a 28 count even weave, again, that I had tea and coffee dyed. But yeah, I'm not crazy about that green. And that may be why I really don't like it. So if nothing else, I could just take that green out. It's not like, it's not very many stitches. So I may do that because, I mean, it's a beautiful chart, but I'm not crazy about it. So I think I'm not going to ditch it, but I'm going to re-stitch it. Ha! I like that. Because like I said, I like the house. I like the roof color that I used. It's DMC 4140 is the roof color that I used. Really pretty. So yeah, I think it's the green where it's not, you know, as it's really light. I like kind of a darker green. So yeah, I'm not going to ditch it, but I'm going to restitch it. At least the green part. Okay. I need that back for another one here in a minute. Then we have, and I don't remember if there was a significant reason that I started this one at the time. I think because it was a Quaker and cool fabric. I think it's one of the newer charts, a newer style at the time for me, is why I started it. Kind of anxious to get something new going under my belt. So yeah, I don't have the date, just 2018, and it's being stitched on 36 count Murky. And it is Lila's Studio Halloween Quaker. Is that not gorgeous? Oh, I love everything about this chart, like everything. Just beautiful. I just love the house that's down here. I'm going to use the called for colors. And like I said, it is 36 count Murky that I'm stitching this on. But that's my progress so far. I know I did stitch on this a little bit. I think in October, I actually picked it up and stitched a little bit on it. But yeah, it's just the one Quaker up in the corner. That's all I've gotten so far. But I know I'm enjoying stitching on it. Like I said, I love the chart. So it's going to be what it looks like. But I kind of orientated it the kind of way that it is in the picture, kind of the lighter area up here, kind of like the moon that the witch is flying in. So yeah. So this is definitely going to be a stitch. see how the sound comes out with this video. I know a couple of floss tubers I watched actually got microphones as Christmas gifts, so I may try that if this sound doesn't come out very well. Okay, next up, I started this, I don't know, it was probably in the fall because I bought it. I was wanting to stitch it for my husband for Christmas. Didn't get very far. I am stitching it on 40 count Confederate gray. I'm surprised I started it on 40 count for my skill level all the time, but it's ink circles, then Northwood, no, just Northwoods. Pam with Pam and Stuff stitched this, and Jennifer Ketterman stitching in the bluegrass. She has a floss tube. Check her out. She's one of the ones I love to watch. She is in Louisville, Kentucky, right across the river from me. They do have meetups. I just have not, you know, just getting everything lined up to get over there. So it's still on my agenda to get over there and meet up with them. But anyway, she is stitching this as well. And like I said, I'm stitching it on 40 count Confederate gray. And I initially started stitching this on, and I don't think I've stitched it since I took it off. I started it on the frames that I put, that I set up a real snow job. I think that's why I actually bought those frames, was to stitch on this. Let's see. But of course, I've taken it off the frame. This only uses 2 colors of floss, Caper and Blaze from Weeks. But that's my progress. Not much, not much. And I think my progress has been slow on it because I did not enjoy stitching on the frame. So that's when I discovered, yeah, stitching in a frame or a Q-snap, because I also tried a Q-snap, didn't like that at all. I am more comfortable stitching in hand, so I don't think I stitched on this at all in 2019. But just looking at it now, it's like, oh yeah, because it's like I've got really pretty stitches in there. So that's that progress. Oh, you know what? Oh, guess I had open some coffee in there. Right. Yes, I do. Okay. Then we have, this is, you know, one of those really going to be a long time to get this one done. Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow. So there's all that. I am stitching in this on 36 count parchment. Gotta make sure there's no floss or needles gonna fall out as I open this. There's a strand of floss, but I think as I went through these the other day, I took out needles because I was running low on needles, so I went ahead and pulled them out on ones that I haven't worked on. But I think I stitched on this some in 2019, like earlier on. But I love this. Oh, I don't think I said it, but all those are stitches. I'm keeping them. So yeah, there's my progress on that. Yeah, each of the little blocks on there, man, oh man, oh man. Lots of little details, or lots of stitching, not that it's small details or anything, it's just lots of stitching in each one of those blocks. So yeah, this is a definitely, we'll continue stitching on this one. And then it's in a pretty autumn bag. Oh my gosh. I'm too old for sitting on the floor. Let's see. Then we have Prairie Schooler December. Love, I'm doing this one. Oops. I just love wintry scenes. I am stitching this on 36 count macchiato from Luminous Fiber Arts, and I'm using the call for DMCs. I think so, yeah. I need a paper to put behind these. Anyway, there we go. 36 count macchiato. 1/2. Chill December brings the sleet in blazing fire and something else. But I know I did stitch on this a little bit. I think I started working on the fireplace and maybe a few more of the words this year. So yeah, definitely going to keep this. I would like to get some of these Prairie Schoolers done because I have several going. And I love the charts. So, yeah, I just need to focus. And I didn't make it an official 2020 goal, but I would like to use the process of finish 2 WIPs before I have another new start. Although I do have Carolyn Manning temperature and a real snow job that I'm starting tomorrow, but other than that, I would like to try to get some of these WIPs knocked out. So I may use that plan to get some of these whittled down. Next, I have another Prairie Schooler, and this one is Happy Christmas. And I started this one on December 5th. Oh, December, it was a start for Flossmas when I did Flossmas in 2018. So December, I started December 4th. This one, Happy Christmas, I started December 5th. So that's the chart. I am stitching this on 32 count Weeks Dye Works gunmetal. I have been stitching on this. I stitched on it yesterday. I might have taken it with me to New York. I don't remember. But I stitched on this tree here. And I'm currently using the called for, I think I switched the red. I think I changed the red. Yeah, it called for DMC 355 for the red, and I'm using 304. It's a beautiful bright red. So I did change the red. What I found is the trees, as you can tell, the trees don't show up real well since it's a darker green. So I intend on, and I think I have finished both of these trees on the side. So I think I'm gonna be done using that green for the trees and switch to a lighter or brighter green so they stand out a little bit more. So yeah, I'm gonna have some different trees in this chart, but that's okay. But I'm enjoying it. I like stitching houses, and you know, No. I thought I had an extra stitch in one of the windows, but it's just a little bit wider. But anyway, I'm enjoying this. So yeah, this is going to be a keeper. I'm going to continue to stitch on this one. And next up, we have from the Primitive Hair. I stitched on her quite a bit this year. It is the Primitive Hair Yule Queen. I have been moving right along on her. She is being stitched on 32 count pearl gray. This is my progress on her. I have basically got all the like webbing part of her dress done. So now I'm just to the point I can just go in and fill that in with the darker colors. Thank goodness. And I have the ends of her hands there. I need to, or hooves, whatever those are. I need to finish stitching those. And of course get the bottom border where it says Yule Queen. And of course the more of the snowflakes that are out here needs to be done. But I was trying to whittle her away to get her done for Christmas, but that didn't happen. So there she is. So pretty. And yes, I'm enjoying this one, so this is going to stick around too. Then we have this. I started December 10th as, I think that was the last day I did a Flossmas. It is, I'm not sure, I don't remember where I got this chart from. I think it must have been on eBay maybe. It's Needlework Treasures. Or Needle Treasures. Needle Treasures. Home for Christmas. This is a kit. It came with the fabric and the flosses, and I'm using the called for. I think it might have came with Ada. Yeah, it came with Ada, and I switched it over to a 28 count even weave. But I am enjoying this. This is one of the charts that uses blended threads, which I don't mind that. And I did work on this a bit this year. But there's my progress. That is the sky, you know, towards sunset, and the tree, a couple trees. Now I'm enjoying this. So, yeah, I like it. I think those blended threads, I think, just look so good, especially for that sunset scene. Okay, and the last WIP that I have carried over from 2018 is Erica Michaels' Ebenezer's Christmas. As you know, our anniversary is December 21st, and our annual tradition is to go see this play at Actors Theater, A Christmas Carol at Actors Theater each year, a dinner and a show. So I love this. Love it. I have stitched off and on this. It is being stitched on 36 count Legacy. I think it's turning out beautifully. Still kind of shadowed. Yeah, I got the top of it there done. Almost that top little area stitched. Sorry, there's a fold right there and it's shadowed. I'm enjoying this. I know when I stitched on it earlier this year, you know, I actually knocked I Will Honor Christmas and the Holly Leaves, knocked those out in just like a day or two. So it stitches up quickly if I focus on it. I get distracted by all the other things that I have going. So yeah, this is definitely a keeper. Heck. So that was my 12 carryover WIPs from 2018 into 2019 and now into 2020. Okay. Next we have I don't think I've talked so much in my life. Sorry. January 7th, I started another prairie schooler. This is the Santas and Snowmen chart. I stitched this one and made it into an ornament. I was going to put these on this tree, but I think this one is actually on my big tree. And that was the only, oh yeah, I was going through this the other day. I started another one. Didn't make note of which one I was starting. And I don't know what orientation, if that's the top or the bottom. But I have a whole 5 stitches into whichever one I was going to stitch next. So yeah, those will be coming out. And I like these little charts. So I'm definitely going to keep working on them. And the thing is, they're quick little stitches, so. Focus. Focus. But going through these, it's like, you know, I just need to get these knocked out. Just knocked out. Next, we have, oh, this is when I was on my, I'm going to stitch one of these every month. Here's my first one that I started. 1989 Santa. And I cannot wait to get my haul in the next few days. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to show you. I'm not going to tell you. I'll just show you. Anywho, yeah, so, you know, my goal was to stitch one of these a month. This is the 1989 Santa that I started. He is being stitched on a 28 count even weave, 1/1. So there is my progress on him. 1/1 on 28 count even weave. I love the tininess of it, but not sure that I will stitch more 1/1. But yeah, I don't think I touched this at all this year, other than when I started this one January 20th. Okay. And it's actually really pretty stitches. I don't know. I'm not going to rule it out doing more 1/1, but I need to get him knocked out so I can, you know, continue with the flow of getting those stitched. Then we have February 3rd. I started Stacy Nash Primitives, Miss Baxter's house. Yep, it's just Miss Baxter's house. Obviously, it's the summertime with the bees and the chickens and the flowers. And Miss Baxter in her beautiful red dress. Love that guy. So cool. So it is being stitched on 36 count Legacy. Obviously, I had purchased a big piece of Legacy. Oh yeah, I went through and I think, oh yes, I made notes. At the time I started this, I didn't have a very large fancy floss collection, but now that I do, I actually have several of these flosses that is called for that I think may actually look better than what I had chosen. So I have noted on here that I may do a color conversion from what I had pulled initially. And yeah, I just went through and carded up, because what I'm doing now is going through and just getting about 5 strands of that, what is it, like 18-inch strands is what I'm doing. So I haven't done this totally, but this is what the flosses that I went ahead and carded up, because it was a mess. It's a mess if you don't keep these on cards. So this is what I have so far. And I don't like the pastel-y colors, like that pink in these flowers. And there again, there's a light green. And I chose this. I don't think those two were the call for colors. So I don't like that combination of pink and green. But that is too much to rip out. I'm not ripping that out. So that's why I've noted on here of converting the colors. You can see from this picture, it's really similar. I see why I chose the colors that I did. They're really similar to what's in here. But what I really like is all of this. These colors I love. So I'm hoping or thinking maybe instead of doing the border all the way around, maybe just do, since I've got the top one all the way finished. So I may just do the bottom and not the sides, and then use the called for in here. Maybe what I do. So I'm not loving it, and that's why when I see it, when I pull it out of the bag, I'm just not crazy about those pinks and greens. Now that I've started on the house, I really like that. So yeah, I'm not ditching it, but definitely going to make sure the rest that of the colors that I have pulled for this are going to make up for not liking the border. So, not ditching it, but converting it, maybe. Changing it a little bit from my initial plan anyway. The thing about the floss rings is that you gotta, it's easier if you like wrap it up in there so it doesn't, everything doesn't get bumped around by them. Okay. Then we have February 22nd. I started I just have the chart printed out. It's out of the Cross Stitch magazine, April of 16. It's the Seasons in Chalk from Hands On Design, the spring the spring chart. And I am stitching it on. Yeah, 32 count Week Side Works gunmetal. And I've got a lot of this done. This was when I, because I didn't, you know, last spring, I just didn't have a lot of spring decor. Usually my Christmas was up until March, but watching everybody else stitch spring things and seeing charts like this, it motivated me to get my Christmas down and get spring up. Actually, Valentine's Day, I started doing Valentine stitching and took down my Christmas, I think in January, like late January, which is early for me. But yeah, I've got quite a bit of this stitched. Love the colors that I chose for this. I did convert it because I didn't have the call for it at the time. But isn't that cute? I'm loving this. Because, you know, having this many whips, you get them into a pile and you just don't see them. Then you go through and pull these out and you're like, oh, man. And the thing is, I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm like really close to being done. No, I'm not. Nope. But I am enjoying this, so we will continue to stitch this one. But, yeah, I need to get these on a floss ring. But I love these colors. Like that pink from Color and Cotton called Luau. It's got the pinks and oranges in there. It's gorgeous. You know, it's just not very nice and pretty when you hold it up like this. If you had it on floss rings, it's easier to see. But anyway. Okay, and then, okay, this started my early Stitch Mania. So, these will be what I work on in March. First up is Brenda Gervais, Forever and Ever. Beautiful chart. It seems like I have seen somebody else stitch this. Maybe Lisa, Kindred Stitcher. So I don't think I stitched on this since, yeah, I would have had to have. I worked on the border some more. Let's see, how's this orientated? I think it's this way. It'll fit on this piece, but I've only got to here, so I'm going to fold it up so you can see here. So this is the left side of the chart and the bottom border. So I've only worked on the borders here, so not, you know, not a whole lot to show, and not nearly enough progress on this chart. So I'm really looking forward to March and getting my hands back on all of these. So this will continue to be stitched. April. Oh, I might have finished it. I'm like, I don't have anything for April 2nd. So it must have been when I finished. Okay, so this one, ooh, that means on March 2nd, I have an open slot. So maybe I could work on the first extra, or I could go back and start pulling out my old ones from 2018 and fill those in the slots. I need to get these done. Okay, April 3rd is Little House Needleworks Autumn ABCs, right? Yeah, Autumn ABCs. I see so many people stitch these and finish them, and they're so cute. So cute. So this is being stitched on, this is a 36 count Color and Cotton limited edition. So once again, not a lot of progress, but progress nonetheless. I got autumn and the bee and some tree right there. I did color convert this. Not totally, but I think I had only pulled like one floss just to get this chart started at the time. Yeah, it called for roasted chestnut, and I converted it to General Arts pecan pie. So yeah, love this for what I have done of it. So yeah, we'll be keeping this one as well. Next up, on April 5th, I started this one. And this is one of the WIPs I will be focused on in Cheryl's scavenger hunt that starts tomorrow. It's JBW Designs Antique Rooster Sampler. And inside it has a picture of it. Isn't that cute? Evidently, you're supposed to always have a red sampler going. Well, I do. And no worries that it's going to get done, you know, in the immediate future. So. But I do love red, and it's really pretty. So this is stitched on 32 count Winter Brew. And the red I'm using is Buckeye Scarlet from Gentle Arts. Yeah. This is my progress. I am really enjoying this stitch. And there's my, whoops, can't see it. So there's my progress. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love that red. So pretty. I'm sorry. Get the needle out of the way here. Smack dab in the middle of the project. So there we go. Really enjoying it. I did work on this some in New York. I took it with me. But I didn't stitch on it. I did stitch on it some this year, though. Okay. I'm kind of trying to figure out how to, for the best lighting, since I'm not recorded in here. What is this for? Okay. Then we have, on April 6th, I started, oh Lord, that pile's starting to fall over. Blackbird Designs. Oh, did I keep the book out? Oh, heck, I didn't keep the book out. It's Casting a Spell. And it's the one that has, how many does it have? Like 11? No, I've got a number here. 10. It has 10 separate little charts that go into the wood box from Hobby Lobby. Lots of people have stitched this. So I just have my working copies in here. So I'm stitching them on 32 count Confederate Gray. And I don't know, because I stitched quite a few of these. I don't know when it was this year that I was so focused on them. Here. I finished the samplers, or the little sampler one. The black that I'm using is black walnut from Color and Cotton. That's the, well, no, I'm also using dark chocolate. So one of them I'm using the black walnut on. Okay, so I got the sampler done. I got I think this block was called the Black Cat. So it's done, the Black Cat, and I think that's a turkey there. The flower and the pumpkin. I think this one was called the Crow. Got that one done. These were quick little stitches. I think most of them I got done in one day. I got the Halloween block done. I got, what's this called? Each of the blocks had a name. This must be the sampler, because there's one called sampler and then one's called alphabet. So C for me. Got that done. So yeah, I have 1, 2, 3. I got each of my little pieces cut and numbered for the specific chart it's for. And then I don't have this one done yet. I'm in the middle of it. But look at that house. Yeah, well, every other one is a different color. But it's cute. I like it. So yeah, I've got like 4.5 more to go. So not bad. I don't remember what it was that I really knocked them out. For a week or so, I like focused on them. Okay. April 7th, I started Bent Creek Row, or Bent Creek Trick or Treat Row. Of course, Priscilla did this one. Oh my gosh, she finished it so flippin' cute. So yeah, I got this. It must have been off of eBay because it came with the fabric and the flosses. I've stitched on this quite a bit this year. So here's my progress. Moving right along. It's been a nice, quick, easy stitch, so this one's definitely a keeper. Then we have on April 8th, I started Willow Hill Samplings. This chart, I was thinking I got it out of Just Cross Stitch magazine, but no, this is an Etsy download, so I bought it off of their Etsy shop or their website. I think they have Etsy shop, I'm not sure. But anywho, it's Quaker Bluebird Sampler. So pretty. Hold on tight. This progress is going to knock your socks off. I'm stitching this on 36 count Legacy. I love this fabric, how it has like dark splotchy spots. I know people have mentioned walnut crystals to prim them up a little bit, so I'm considering that because I just love that dark look of that fabric. Let's see what it calls for. Okay, it calls for, it was stitched on 36 count Birds of a Feather Linen in Sparrow was the fabric. And the floss that was called for was Gentle Arch Shaker Thread in Blackboard. 2 skeins. So Gentle Arts comes, of course, 5 and 10, but it needed 2 skeins of 5 yards. Well, the color that I chose, because I didn't at the time have Gentle Art Blackboard, I do now, and it's really, really pretty. But I chose this because I had this on hand, and it's 8 yards, so I'm hoping it covers it. But I'm stitching it in Color and Cotton's Midnight, no, To All a Good Night. I think I had got their Christmas box, Christmas theme box is where I got this from. It is a beautiful dark blue. Ooh, that's a good representation of it. So really pretty dark blue. But yeah, this is my progress. Let's see. I think that's the upper corner. So yeah, ton, you know, huge start there. So yeah, I can't wait to get back in on this one. I don't know if you can see the variegation in the floss coming there. Yeah, that's pretty good. The darks and the lights. So yeah, this is a keeper as well. I'm gonna have to speed this up because I'm at an hour already. And this is just the WIP Parade part. Next is Cottage Garden Samplings, April 9th. And it's the Forever and Ever chart, part of the series, the Songbird Garden series. Forever and Ever. Love those cardinals. I'm stitching this on 36 count Picture This Plus pewter. I'm using the called for colors. The called for colors, I believe, are all, nope. The called for are weeks. I have some, but not all. So I have been using the DMC. I know the greens that I'm using are DMCs. So I don't know if I will use some of the calls for. So, you know, this isn't a huge start, so I'll use these greens, of course. I like these greens, so I could use these where they're called for and, you know, convert the other colors. I don't think I've pulled the other colors yet. So yeah, that's my progress. Not a whole lot, but progress nonetheless. Okay. I don't know if I'm bumping that camera. Sorry if I am. April 10th, Plum Street. Harvest Keeper. There we are. Love that big flower on her butt. So cute. Love all these beehives. They're just gorgeous. Whew. 32 count Winter's Brew is what I'm stitching on. Yeah, not a huge start on this either. But I do love it. This floss that I'm using, I don't remember the color of it, but I love the variegation in it. But yeah, that's all I have is that top line there. And you can see, didn't leave myself a whole lot of margin. Not sure what I was thinking there. But yeah, this is the whole top is stitched. So, you know, I've only got about 1.5 inches over here and like 1 inch. So I don't know if I just really wanted to use this fabric and thought, you know, you can do it. But it's okay. It's enough for me to work with. April 11th, Brenda Gervais, Pink Sparrow Sampler. Oh my gosh, I can't think of her name. Jeez Louise. I hate when I do that. Lynette. I can't think of her Flosstube. What the heck? Anyway, Lynette had shared her plans, and this was on her plan list. What? Pink Sparrow Sample. Look at this. Homesteading on the home front. I knew I'd think of it. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at those colors. Just looking at this chart made me say, ooh, I'm so excited to work on this again. So, of course, this is a keeper. I don't care what the progress is because I know it's not very much. Nope. Once again, just some border. This is a 36 count legacy that I'm stitching this on. But, yeah, that's all I got was the border. Woo! I can't wait. Like I love those colors. I can't wait to get, you know, deeper into it. I'll probably scoot down into it since I got some of the border stitched that I can get down into the colored part. April 12th is the Primitive Hair Trick or Treat Pumpkin. Love this chart. Trick or Treat Pumpkin Stitch from the Primitive Hair. This was a download, I think, from her Etsy shop or her website, whichever one she has. But look at that fabric. Love the fabric. And I was able to score some very similar fabric from XG Designs. It's 36 count Grandpa's sleeve is what I'm stitching this on. I have made quite a bit of progress. For StitchCon, I took this, I had outlined its hat so that I could fill it in because you really just don't have the time to do a lot of tedious stitching. So I filled in, I don't remember which part I filled in because I did a lot of stitching on this over the summer. And you see I outlined the next part. But yeah. Love this fabric. Can't wait to get this done. It's just, oh my gosh, lots of repetitive stitching. Okay. Keeper. Next, April 13th, Threadwork Primitives Beggar's Night. I'm trying to speed up because, oh my gosh, I'm going to be here 3 hours. Beggar's Night. Love. I think this is called for in DMC. Yeah, DMC. I'm stitching this on its Luminous Fiber Arts. I can already tell. Yep, 36 count deep pumpkin. I'm using all the called for DMCs. Here's my progress, just some top of the border. But yeah, I can't wait to get further into this one as well. Okay, then I have on April 14th, Heartstring Sampleries. Rooster and Acorns. Yep, Rooster and Acorns. Isn't that pretty? I am not doing any of the top or bottom border where it says, where it has the name. I might put the year, not totally stuck on that as well. So it may just be the animals and or the roosters and the acorns. But that blue is gorgeous that she used there. I used cinnamon, yeah, the Gentle Art cinnamon floss. It's orange and like a really, well, it's kind sorry. It looks orangey to me, but you know, it's browns or very burnt orange. Let's see. It's being stitched on 28 count Cyprium using the cinnamon floss. And I wish I had chosen, I love the color, but I just do not enjoy stitching 2/2. First of all, it really goes through your floss. And I mean, look at this fabric. I love the fabric. It's the stitches are just so thick in it. Isn't that gorgeous? So pretty. And of course, once again, I mean, what, really? An inch? I left myself an inch. The minimum, now, you know, now that I'm further into stitching, the minimum I will use is 1.5 inches for my border. I do not do 3-inch borders. No. 1.5 inches, 2 inches is what I go with. But yeah, that's my progress so far. Loving how the floss is looking on this fabric. Really pretty. So yeah, this is a keeper. Oop, wrong back. Next we have April 15th, Birds of a Feather Toile Rooster. Oh my gosh, love, 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 love. Look at that. So cool. I think roosters are so cool. $30 count Weeks Dye Works chickpea, and I love this fabric. So pretty. It's such a pretty orange. But I know I worked on this again other than the day that I had started it because I've made so much progress. But I just love this fabric color. I'm simply using DMC 310. But coming right along. Of course, it's tedious, you know, with the how it looks faded there, you know. Lots of counting. So, but I'm enjoying stitching on this fabric and loving this chart, even though it is a lot of counting. It's just beautiful. Okay. Then we have April 16th, Stone Street Stitchworks, Fireworks on the 4th. Black and white printout copy. They have an Etsy shop that you just download their charts from. I did do a color conversion. I am not crazy about the blue, but I've already stitched too much to worry about it. I wish I had done kind of a darker, it's too bright of a blue for me. I'm stitching this on 32 count cocoa, I believe. Yep, 32 count cocoa. That's my progress so far. But yeah, I believe I don't know if I converted everything, but I'm not doing that bottom border where it says 4th of July. I'm not doing that. I'm just doing the one line beneath the barns and the house. Or, yeah, the house and the barn. But yeah, I'm just not crazy about that blue. I'm really picky about my blues, and I wish I had chosen a different blue. But there's too much progress in this for me to do anything about it now, so maybe once I get the white in there, the blue just stands out so much against that red and the brown, but maybe once I get some white in there to add some brightness. The blue won't stand out so much. April 17th. Hold on a second. I gotta get the next half. Well, not the next half, the next stack. I don't know, it may be about half. Oh, wowzer. April 17th, Plum Street. Babushka's Blossoms. I just love saying that, babushka. Plum Street, samplers, Babushka's Blossoms. Is that not adorable? Look at that freaking huge pumpkin. Oh, I love it. I love everything about this. The vines, the blooms, the little crow, the house. Huge pumpkin with a ladder. Love this chart. Love, love, love. Oh, goodness. Let's see. 36 count. Vintage Country Mocha. Hold on to your hats. Lots to see here. So that's the right side of the chart. That's all I got. I'm not crazy about the fabric. I think just because it's the one that's just printed on the one side, and I did not know that about Vintage Country Mocha before I purchased this, but it's not that it's that bad. But I also think I did a coloring version because I don't think I had the called for at the time. So this is one of them I'll be going back through. I don't think I'll rip the stitches out of this one. I'll just go with it. It's not that you can't see it. So yeah, I'm just going to continue going with it. And once again, I've got about 1.25 inches margin up here for myself. But anywho, yeah, there we go. But yeah, this will stay in my stitch pile. April 18th. It's an RETM, Harvest Time. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Ugh, so pretty. I am stitching this on 32 count cinnamon roll by Silk Weaver, and I converted it. It just uses 2 colors. I converted because I think it used cinnamon, and I converted the orange to Color and Cotton Reindeer Treats. Look at that. Look at the variegation in that floss. The orange and the brown. So pretty. So pretty. And the green I converted to Pine Needles by Color and Cotton. It's just a variegated green. This is my progress. And being 32 count, depending on how tight the weave is on the fabric, I go back and forth if I should use 1/2 or 2/2. And Jennifer Stitching the Bluegrass actually had posted that on 36 count if it was okay to stitch 1/2. And of course I always stitch 1/2 on 36 count, but 32 count's always kind of iffy. It's like, how well is your floss color is going to pop out against your fabric color? So evidently I did a little test area there, because I think I'm stitching this. My little test area was 2/2, but I ended up stitching it 1/1. Yep, it's 1/1. But look at this. Look at the fabric. This is cinnamon roll. Beautiful orange. And this is my progress. Look at that floss color. It's called Reindeer Treats. So I think it came in their Christmas box. But I love that variegation and that floss. It's just perfect for this chart, I think. So pretty. And I'm enjoying stitching on this. Just haven't taken the time to stitch on more. Okay. Next, April 19th. Another Prairie Schooler. I should have jumped in on Misty, Helen D. Oh, I think Barbie was the third one. There's, I think three of them. Maybe it was just Misty and Helen D. They did a year of Prairie Schooler. Prairie Schooler Autumn Samplers. I am stitching this one. Honestly, I think I'll end up doing all of them. But I'm started this one. It is being stitched on, I'm sure, 36 count, probably macchiato. No. Oh. 36, no. Yeah, 36 count, the Vintage Country Mocha. Dang it. It's okay. It's okay. Anywho, this is where I started. Of course, they're all the DMC colors. But yeah, not much progress. Sorry. Next we have April 20th, Plum Street. Cinnamon Stars. I love this chart. It is so pretty. And stitching it on 36 count macchiato from Luminous Fiber Arts. So many people have stitched this chart. It is just beautiful. I will be stitching in all the called for colors. I do not know if I have them all or not. So if I don't, I will not convert it. I am going to stitch it as it is called for. So I'll just order the floss as is needed. So yeah, not a huge start on this. I'll take that back. I did convert the picket fence because I wanted to start this chart, and I think I didn't have any of the called for at the time, but I had a floss that I knew I could use for the fence. So all I've got stitched so far is a little bit of the fence, but I'm using Gentle Arts, and it says limited edition, and I hate that because it's like, you know, they may not be selling it anymore, but you could ask others to borrow some of them. Well, not borrow, but if they had that color, if they weren't using it, you could get it from them. But anyway, it's limited edition. It looks like a stone color or a very lightly modeled brown gray. Yeah, this is the bottom. But I think it looks really good as the fence. I don't know if you can really see how well the modeling or the variegation in that fence is coming through, but you can really see the brown and the gray variegation in the floss. But yeah, that's all I got. Some of the fence. So yeah, I love so many of these charts and cannot wait to get back to stitching on them in March. Let's see, April 21st, Bygone Stitches, Quaker Autumn, or it's Quaker Seasons Autumn. They have all 4 of the seasons. This is the chart. Beautiful motifs and Quakers. I'm stitching this on 40 count Harvest Moon from Luminous Fiber Arts. I have started stitching it in burnt orange. I think it only calls for maybe burnt orange and cinnamon. Burnt orange, cinnamon, and pumpkin patch. So here is my progress. It's the top right corner in the chart. So pretty. Yeah, the variegation is really pretty. And at least I gave myself a little more margin. Got a couple inches up there this time. I think it was probably because I had so many starts in that month. You know, having enough fabric to do all those starts. I'm sure I got to the point of like skimping. Okay, I gotta make this work. Next up, April 22nd, Little House Needleworks. The Early American series. Love. I've seen other people stitch this. And I've started on, no, I've not even started on her. Okay, anyway. I've got all the charts. And eventually I'll be starting on Betsy Ross. Vanna Pfeiffer, the Twisted Stitcher, had stitched this series and provided, and well, she actually designed and provided free on her blog a chart of the border to lay them all out in. So it has a top border here and stars that go down the side. Really pulls this all together. It looks fabulous. So I have that printed out. At the time I didn't use, well, she actually doesn't provide colors. She may have listed what she used, but I pulled my own. Once again, I'm not crazy about the colors. Not crazy about the colors. I am stitching this on 36 count pewter. And you know what I think I don't like about this one is the yellow, which honestly wouldn't be too bad to pull back out since it's just one star. So I may pull out that yellow and get a more of a tarnished gold yellow. Although the red, white, and blue is kind of bright, but I'm not crazy about that yellow. I'm really picky about yellows too. Like, I really don't like school bus yellow. I drive a school bus, but I do not like the color of them. But anyway, that's my progress. I've not started on any of the charts. And I'm honestly, sorry. It's very, very, almost like too light in color. So I'll pull the color for flosses to see how they look. You know, dye lots are, wow, so different nowadays. So I'll pull them out. I might change it up a little bit. So yeah, not a lot of progress. Next, April 23rd, the Prairie Schooler Village Green. And this is one I know that Debbie with Creatively Yours is stitching. I am stitching mine on 36 count color and cotton limited edition. For those of you who have not seen it, this is Village Green. I have the fabric cut to stitch both of these charts. I love the rooster and the hen. I will not stitch all those chicks. Are you kidding me right now? No. So I'd like to stitch these two and maybe stitch just this hen and the rooster and maybe put them in a middle and put the bigger ones above and below it. But I am not stitching all those chicks. No, not happening. Anyway, I started this one. This is the one I'm currently working on. I'm not sure what the called for color was. Or, you know what? I think the called for color was a yellow or brown, and it's pretty much the same color as the fabric. but I know I didn't use the same floss that it called for, but I have no clue why I stitched it in this color. Because unless you're looking at it, like right on it, looking at it, you can't even hardly see the stitches. And once again, oh, I hate the green. Look at that green. It is no life to it at all. It's a very lifeless green. So, I'm not technically ditching it because I'm still going to stitch it, but it will not have these two colors in it. So it's totally going to be changed up. So I will go back to the starting board and drawing board. Go back to the drawing board and figure out better colors for this. So not a total ditch, but definitely a restitch. Like, I will pull all of those stitches out and totally redo it because I'm not happy with it. April 24th, Plum Street, Henpeck. Well, anywho, Henpeck. I think we've all seen them all. I'm stitching this on 36 count macchiato from Luminous Fiber Arts. And once again, it calls for Weeks and Classic Colorworks. And of course, I didn't have a lot of these that it called for, so I did my own color conversion, which I've gotten better at, I must say. But not totally crazy about what I have so far. This is what I have. It goes this way. Like the red almost looks like a brown. So that's too much stitch and pull off the red. So I'm going to keep it. I'm going to continue to stitch it, but I'm definitely going back and rethinking my color choices. The red I used was Old Red Paint, and it just needs to be a little more of a vibrant red. Because and I think why I chose it, because the blue I chose was Classic Colorworks Old Blue Jeans, which I love that blue, but I just don't like them together. So yeah. I don't know. Maybe I need to stitch some of the blue in it. I don't even know what the blue's for. Yeah, I guess I need to go up there and stitch that blue. That's the blue in that flower and the flag. The two flags in the center of one of these flowers has some blue in it. And the green, it's a pretty green. I don't know. I was just not happy with the color choices for this chart. And I think that's why I haven't worked a whole lot on it. I mean, I've obviously worked on it because I did more than one day's work on it. I'm not loving it. It's not appealing to me. I don't know. I'm honestly considering this to be a ditch. just stitch it. Figure out different colors. Because I'm not going to rip those stitches out on 36 count. So I've set it aside. Okay. April 25th, Antique Shops from Charles Wysocki. It was a Dimensions kit. Love this scene. I just think it's absolutely beautiful. It's got the quilt shop, antiques, and a cafe. It came with, it did not come with this fabric. I think I must have got this off of eBay. I think it came with some fabric. And holy smokes, my freaking needle is about to come out. It came with Aida, some white Aida, and I don't like it. It probably came with 14 count. I use, and I don't think this is 18 count. I didn't count it to confirm what I'm actually using. I'm assuming this is 18 count. And I'm using 2/2. I mean, two strands of floss on this 18 count Aida. And this is the kind of Aida that is board stiff. Like, you know, horrible. Because I pulled this out a couple nights ago when I went through all these WIPs. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to stitch on that. Oh my God. Horrible. Horrible. I finished there's a little section in orange that needed to be completed. And then I started working on the house that's next to these other trees. I started working on the house. Well, I mean, the house pretty much blends into the background. This house, you don't even have to stitch the house. This is just back stitch to make it look like slats. So that's just the natural color of the fabric coming through. Of course, I can stitch it, which I thought, yeah, I'll just stitch it instead. Using 2 strands of floss, way too thick. My finger was so sore after just a little bit of, well, just the little amount that I did. I mean, that part of the house, and like I said, just a little bit of the orange. This will totally, this whole thing will be ditched. But I'm not going to give up on the chart. So it will go back to the drawing board to figure out a different fabric. I still have all the floss. I've not hardly used any of the floss. But yeah, it will not be stitched on this fabric. So yeah, I need to pick a different colored fabric, a lighter fabric. So yeah, ditching it will be redone totally. Then we have April 26th by Stitchy Fish Designs, Watercolor Garden. This was from the Just Cross Stitch magazine, February of 2019 issue. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Stunning. Beautiful. I'm stitching this on 28 count even weave. Whew. I put all the flosses back. It's just called for DMCs, but I put all the flosses back. I think I had went through and pulled out all the flosses, and they were all in the bobbins, loose in that bag. Horrible. So anyway, they'll all be put onto floss cards once I get back to this. But here's my progress so far. Obviously, lots of confetti stitching. Beautiful colors. I know up in here, I'm one off. I've made note of it. I'm making adjustments as I'm stitching. I mean, it's all confetti stitching down in here. I can get it back on track and no one will ever know the difference. So yeah, we will continue with this one. Love the colors. April 27th, Cricket Collection, A Walk in the Woods. Stitched on 36 count legacy. And this is all DMC. And I think I'm stitching using the called fors. Not that I've stitched that much, but yeah, it's the called for colors. There's my progress so far. I know I worked on it a little bit after I started it. I know I at least did that purple flower. So yeah, I'm enjoying this. Of course, I haven't stitched that much on it, but I do like it. So this will stay. April 29th. Another Prairie Schooler. When Witches Go Riding. Doing this one. It's being stitched on, looks like a 36 count macchiato for Harvest Moon. 40 count macchiato. When I stitched this, I was surprised how small it actually is. It's on 40 count, but even if it wasn't on 40 count, it's smaller than I thought it would be. So yeah, this is as wide as it is. Maybe 5 inches. So I'm enjoying it. Just got to get back to it. April 30th, Blackbird Designs, Halloween Eve. Love this chart. Gorgeous. Love the planter here. Beautiful crow, a patchwork pumpkin. What? Just beautiful. And I think I'm going to stitch it with the call for colors. Of course, all I have done so far is stitch the border. This is being stitched on Confederate gray, I can tell. Yeah, 32 count. So all I've got, is the border. So not much to see, but I do enjoy it, and I think it's just going to be, I can't wait to get it done. It's just going to be gorgeous. May 2nd. Okay, that was all of early Stitch Mania. So May 2nd, I started stitching on a wedding gift. This is the chart. This is off of an Etsy shop. I am not, I don't think, all of this lattice work back here. I'm not going to stitch that. I'm stitching this on 28 count even weave. There's where I got so far. Yes, they got married June 19th, maybe. So yeah, This will be like an anniversary. It's pretty. I did convert the colors. I wasn't crazy about the colors. It was, it calls for blues, but I'm picky with my blues, so I converted it a little bit. Okay, so then we get to July 1st. Lizzie Kate, Christmas Rules. That's what it will look like finished. Right there. This is on the flip it, right? Yeah, the Flip It series. 36 count legacy is what I'm stitching this on. I've been working on it a lot here recently. So the floss was just a mess in my project bag. So I stopped what I was doing and went and put them all on my floss cards. So now it's on a floss ring and not such a mess. But the last time you seen it, or when I don't know the last time you've seen it, but when I started this back up a few days ago, I had to just do a little bit of white in the S. I had done Christmas Rules, just a little bit of white in the S is where I had to pick up from. And so this week I stitched the Christmas tree. Actually, I think it was Saturday. I did stitching almost all day Saturday. The tree, the snowman, the blue border, and then all of this. I know, I think I had the cardinal and the branch, just a little bit of the branch. And then so Sunday I did the rest of the branch and all of the words and the snowflakes yesterday. Or Sunday. So I'm loving that. I actually did a floss conversion. I did a floss conversion and then converted it again. So once again, picky about the colors. August 2nd, hands-on design, seasons in chalk. Oh, I don't know. Seasons in chalk, fall. Oh yeah. It's from Just Cross Stitch magazine. October of 16. 2016 had some really good charts. So there we are. Being stitched on 32 count chalkboard. This fabric is stiff. It is very stiff. But I started down in the corner where the pumpkin is. I wanted to get some orange on there. Ooh, see where I do that. There we go. So not much progress, but progress nonetheless. And yeah, I mean, this stuff is so, it's so stiff. It's really aggravating to stitch on. But I will persevere. Next up, September 6th, Kanicki's. This was in the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitchers magazine. Oh, it's in this bag. Oh, I don't have a picture. I just printed out the chart. It's Eye of Newt. It's the first in a series. She has since published another one of these. I forget what it was. Wings of Bats. So this is Eye of Newt. This is being stitched 1/1. 28 count Days Gone By. And it's being stitched 1/1 on 28 count. Super cute. It was recommended to stitch like this because this will be, when it's done, basically will be taking off the linen to make it ragged on the end, and it goes into a jar that you prim up. Super cute, super awesome. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do all of these to get a row of the jars. I think that'd be so cool. So yeah, I'm enjoying the 1/1 stitching on this. So yeah, there we go. September 19th. This pile is falling over. September 19th, La-Di-Da, Toil and Trouble. This is a companion piece to Something Wicked. Check out that big green nose. I did convert this chart so that she is actually facing the other direction. This is being stitched on 36 count. I think this one is soft pumpkin. I had soft for one and soft pumpkin and dark pumpkin. This is 32 count soft pumpkin that I'm stitching her on. This is my progress thus far. Just a big old part of her nose. So yeah. Okay. Okay. We're down to about the last 5 or 6. Around October 31st, I didn't write down the day that I started this because I just came home and started stitching on it because I wanted to try out the sulky threads. And I know I had bought it at the Finishing Touch in Louisville, which she had a sale like October 28th and 29th, right before Halloween. So it was around October 31st that I started this. I am stitching this on 32 count Cocoa. Oh, Cranberry Christmas. Hands-on design. Jeez. Charts in there. Cranberry Christmas. I'm going to stitch all of them. Here is the progress so far. I haven't stitched any more on this since I last showed it to you. Like I said, the jury is still out on whether I like the sulky threads or not. The color, I like the color. It's pretty. I think it's looking great on this fabric. But as far as stitching with it, I'm not sure if I'm crazy about it. But we will continue on with it. Okay. November 21st. The day the world changed. My birthday. This was my birthday start. Shakespeare's Peddler. Jenny Bean's Christmas Sampler. Love this chart. Absolutely love this chart. It's on a floss string, but I didn't go through and just pull off what I need. So it will be re-carded. But I wanted to pull all the colors to see them. Oh, what am I stitching this on? 32 count vintage country mocha that I tea and coffee dyed. Here is progress. I have stitched quite a bit on this. I loved stitching on this. Loved it. Really enjoyed it. So yeah, this is the second WIP that I'm focusing on in Cheryl McKinney's group. Okay. My December 1st start is Sarah Gramani, Waiting for Christmas. There. Beautiful scene. Absolutely beautiful. This is the 32 count vintage country mocha. Again, that I tea coffee dyed and put some cinnamon in there. Don't just use ground cinnamon. No. Because it all pretty much fell out into my lap. That's fine. I smell good. And it just vacuumed up. So here's my progress. Check it out. It was all called for DMCs. And that's what I'm using. No conversions here. I'm just going with it. So yeah. I obviously enjoyed stitching on it. I stitched on it for several days after I started it. Okay. Then we have December 14th, marked the start of our anniversary vacation. It is Heartstring Samplery's Hibernation Day, and this is the third WIP I'll be focusing on in the Daily 30 Scavenger Hunt. Ooh, I can't read that. Oh, such a beautiful chart. I stitched on this a lot on the drive. It's being stitched on 36 count Legacy. And I started it as we were driving. And the road seemed really smooth. It seems smooth until you try to start stitching on 36 count linen. And that smooth road is not smooth at all. But I did quite a bit of stitching on it. This was driving and at the hotel. Look at that. This is the called for. Pretty much all the called for. The yellow, I didn't have the tarnished gold at the time. I do now. But I used B-Scup from Victorian Motto. But yeah, love stitching on this. Of course, 1/2. So I got that top portion. I've got each section. I've got that section complete. And I figured that was a good stopping point for the time, because it was almost time for the next start. And the next start was actually on our anniversary. And it is Plum Street Samplers, A Sweeter Love. This is the chart. Oops. That's the chart. Love the scene. Oh yes, this chart calls for MPS silks. Yeah, I can't afford silks to do this chart, so it does have the DMC equivalents. So that's what I pulled. I did not convert. I just pulled the straight out DMC conversions. Which, I mean, look at these flosses. Beautiful. Just beautiful as a whole. Here's my progress. I am not loving it. I am not loving it. The border, again, that green, hideous. I hate this green. I hate the green. The flowers, they are not properly converted from the silks to the DMC, which I've heard is pretty common. But I hate the green. I hate the green. So, I'm not very far on this. So, like I said, I love the middle scene. I do not love the border, and it is totally surrounded in these this flower and vine, and it was all I had in me to stitch what I have stitched. And that's why I went on down here to the letters. I thought I gotta stitch on a different color because I hate these colors. So I think I'm not ditching it. I'm not ditching this project because I want to stitch the project, but I'm going to rip out these border stitches, and I'm not going to stitch the border. Not doing it. I love the middle, and I love the verse that's on it. It's not a verse, but the saying in the middle. So yeah, restitching. Actually, not restitching. I'm just ripping this out. I'm just going to continue on with the letters there. So there we go. I started stitching that green, and I'm like, oh, I don't like that green. I do not like that green. Oh my gosh. This is a huge chart. I can't not stitch this because I love what it stands for. So I thought, you know what? I'm just not going to stitch that border. Rip it out and move on. That's a restitch. My last start for 2019. So as I've showed you these, you've seen my WIPs from my last Flosstube, or new starts, and everything I've worked on since my last Flosstube. So, December 25th, Quaker Christmas 2. So pretty. I am stitching this on 36 count fog. Right, 36, yeah, 36 count fog. And I am using Buckeye Scarlet for the red. Buckeye Scarlet. You can't see it well, but it does have the dark variegation areas there. So here is my progress. I started on this Quaker in the upper left corner. Oh my gosh. I love stitching on this. Is that right? No, it's this way. I'm like, that doesn't look right. Yeah, there we go. That's better. I love stitching on this. Have thoroughly enjoyed it. And I must say, I typically use the sewing method, but I have noticed since probably September, October, I do the stab and poke, and my stitches lay a lot better. And so for this piece, I am doing the stab and poke method. I am not using the sewing method. And it is, to me, it is perfection. I am so thrilled with this on how it's coming out. I love it. So, yeah, loving it. Okay, that was all 54 of my WIPs with, I haven't decided for sure if I'm going to restitch the henpeck. I'm not stitching it as it is. So other than that, you know, a couple of restitches or ripping stitches. So it's not too bad. So that's what I'm taking into 2020. And most of these I am pumped about and cannot wait to get my hands back on them. So super excited about tomorrow. Oh my gosh. So many cool charts that I get to start. The temperature chart, hammering away on WIPs with the scavenger hunt, and a real snow jobs restart. Oh my gosh. I seriously cannot wait for tomorrow. So that's all I got, guys. I hope you have some awesome 2020 plans, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm at 2 hours right now on my timer, and of course there's no editing. I didn't do anything too goofy or misspeak too bad. So I think I'm going to do a wrap up for 2019 and just do a separate WIP Parade video, because I think I stopped my first one before I started my WIP Parade and it was almost an hour, so I'm not going to upload a 3-hour video. So I'll do 2 separate ones. That's all I got. We're not doing anything exciting for New Year's Eve. Well, I don't know. It's exciting to me. Nothing like spectacular. We're gonna both be at home. He's not feeling well, so he took the day off of work. So we'll probably play some games. We have played games every evening this week. For the past week, I love playing games, card games, whatever. I love it. And we're gonna have some. If you've not members mark Sam's, Costco may have them as well. But if you like Chick-fil-A and their nuggets and their waffle fries, which I flippin' love, Sam's has, it's the well, it must be just Sam's because it's their brand, Members Mark, but they have the chicken bites and it has a little bit of a pickle flavor to it. Amazing. And the waffle fries, they have the big bags of the waffle fries that taste just like Chick-fil-A. So that is what we are going to nibble on as the evening progresses towards 2020. So that's my New Year's plans. I hope you have some awesome New Year's plans. Please stay safe. Please don't drink and drive. I hope everyone has a blessed, prosperous, and healthy 2020, and I can't wait to come back and show you my progress from my new starts and how much progress I've made on my WIPs. It's back to winter time, so lots of stitching time. I hope you get lots of stitching time as well. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again soon. Bye, guys.